that were emphasized for me tonight is how complex a document the city's budget is. So many revenue streams to look at, sources of taxation that are possible, but difficult things to consider.
After the revenue discussion tonight, I think it was very clear that revenue is a last resort. The emphasis to me through the revenue discussion was to put a greater emphasis on expenditures. There's a union component of the personnel, which to me is both challenging, difficult, and very slow, and in some cases I think risky. But I think it was clear that both union and non-union portions of personnel will need to make some sort of sacrifices. I think it's a very sensitive issue, though, as we talked about today, and it's not one that we can take lightly. Each employee has a family, just like I have a family. And I really believe that the sacrifices need to be small in nature. They cannot be drastic. They cannot be completely family altering, I guess I would say. But there are sacrifices that will need to be made from a personnel perspective.
I've lived in Elgin since 1981. We had trying times then and went through a period where many people felt it wasn't a good place to live. Many improvements have been made over the years, and serving on the task force reinforced that for me.
My perception of the city, how has it changed? It's changed, I think, because I think we took the covers off. When you start digging into the money, where each dollar goes and where the different funds are, it really shows the complexity side of the city of Elgin. When you look at the city of Elgin, you might drive around and say, oh, it's 108,000 people. But when you break it down, there is a lot of complexity into each facet, from the roads to leaves to simple things like the Elgin Rec Center or the Center or the Hemmans. Each piece is so unique and each issue is complex.
I think the council will benefit greatly from the recommendations that we've made, especially because the recommendations have come from so many different parts of the community, so many different opinions, so many different ideas. We were able to come together on quite a few of these things, and I believe the council will benefit from what we've been able to accomplish.
Our budget task force, I think, did a good job of making some broad brush recommendations. I hope that the theme of what we did will carry forward to the city staff and council. But I know that we made very broad brush strokes, that many of our decisions or things that we decided need much further review and thought. But I think our message was clear, that the people are interested in the core services. And I think that's one of the things that I learned through the budget task force is focus on what's most important, and the rest needs to kind of fill in the cracks.
Some members of the budget task force may have felt that we were going to help balance the budget, but that was not our mission at all. Our mission was to give the city council some flavor for what the community really would like to see in a balanced budget. And of course, if that required a reduction in services or an increase in revenues, where would we be willing to reduce, say, service levels, or where would we be willing to tolerate some increase in revenues or taxes?